This is 17 years of brutally honest SEO advice for those that are struggling to rank in Google, starting with one that most SEOs have a hard time accepting. Google doesn't owe you traffic. They never did. Google's job is to satisfy searchers, not reward websites. And if they can do that without sending people off their platform, they will. Google's featured snippets have been stealing clicks for over a decade. Quick answers, unit converters, stock prices, weather boxes. Google even rewrites your meta descriptions, not describing your page, but to answer the query in as few words as possible. And now, AI overviews, a full screen wall of generated content that pushes blue link results off the screen. They're all designed to answer the query and keep searchers on Google's platform, not to send them to you. An ex-Googler literally said that Google internally regards sending traffic to publishers as a necessary evil. They're not in it for you or for me. They're not trying to help your site succeed, and they sure as heck aren't rewarding you for great content. They're in it for the searcher and themselves, because the brutal truth is that you're fighting the platform you're trying to win on. You've got no choice but to play the game, and if you can't accept that, nothing else will work, because you're operating under a lie that Google's job is to reward creators. And it'll kind of feel like it until it doesn't. That might have felt heavy, but this next one isn't a speculative hot take about Google. This one's about you, me, and anyone who's spent weeks on a page that can't crack the third page of Google. And that truth is that you're trying to rank for keywords where you don't even have a chance at winning, and you need to stop doing that now. This usually boils down to your ambition that clouds your judgment. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You open up a keyword tool, you see a juicy high volume keyword that doesn't look super competitive, and you think, yeah, maybe I can rank for that. So you go all in. You write what you think is a killer post, you hit publish, maybe you get a few links, and then nothing. Months later, you're still sitting at position 33. You start tweaking the title, you add internal links, you rewrite the intro, and maybe you even update the entire post to better match intent. But nothing changes. The problem isn't your content, it's the battlefield. Because that keyword you picked is dominated by massive sites with tons of backlinks and full-time SEO teams with bottomless budgets. You're not gonna out-blog your way into that club. So what should you do instead? Take a laddered approach. Start by going after lower competition topics and compete with websites in the same league as you. Or better, where you're the authority. Now, as your pages rank, you'll get more traffic, more links, more sales, and then you can ladder your way up to the next step and rinse and repeat the same formula. It may not be as enticing as going after a higher volume keyword, but laddering your way up is going to give you the best shot at succeeding in SEO. SEO is a long game, and it's a game you're destined to lose if you keep swinging at impossible keywords. Now, even if you pick winnable keywords, rank, and get organic traffic, it doesn't mean you've won the game, because ranking and traffic aren't the goal. They never were. SEO traffic is just a delivery system for your company. If that traffic doesn't actually move your business forward, if it doesn't drive customers, leads, or revenue, then your traffic is meaningless. Because the truth is that ranking doesn't matter unless that traffic serves your business's goals. SEO isn't a business strategy, it's a traffic source. That's why we stopped picking keywords based on search volume or keyword difficulty alone. Instead, we added a metric that makes our keyword research way more useful: business value. We use a dead simple 3-point scale. A 3 means your product is indispensable to solving the problem. So if you sell coffee grinders, a topic like best coffee grinders is a no-brainer. Your product is the solution to the topic. A 2 means your product is helpful, but not critical to the solution. Maybe that's something like how to make French press coffee. Your grinder plays a role, but it's one piece of a bigger process. A 1 means your product barely matters. Something like, what is a burr grinder? Maybe you get a passing mention, but no one reading that is ready to buy. It's purely educational. This scale ensures that every piece of content we publish is tied to real business outcomes rather than chasing traffic for the sake of it. And the crazy thing is that if you look at the top ranking pages for the query, how to rank in Google, none of them talk about this. Not one. It's just the same 3 pieces of advice, repackaged for the 100th time. Create quality content, match search intent, get backlinks. And while they're not wrong, the content is just hollow. They skip the context like, Who are you creating content for? How are you supposed to write in a way that actually builds trust? And how does that piece support your business, not just your traffic? Nobody talks about that. So here are 2 hard truths you need to know. Number 1, most SEO advice is recycled. And number 2, most of this content isn't even written by people who are still doing SEO or have even done it at all. If everything you watch or read sounds the same, it's probably because it is the same. SEO at a basic level isn't rocket science, and for all you know, you're following playbooks from someone who hasn't ranked a page in years. So if you're stuck in a content binge loop, waiting for that one advanced tactic to finally unlock results, stop. Put the blog post or video down, close the tab, and go and actually do SEO. You'll get the most benefit from there. And if you're already spending the bulk of your time doing SEO, that's great. But if you're still not ranking and feeling like it's unfair that your competitor's terrible content outranks your amazing content, here's the brutal truth. Your content just isn't as good as you think it is. That's not me being harsh. It's a cognitive bias we all fall for. It's called the effort justification fallacy. The more effort you put in, the more you convince yourself it's great, even when it's not. That little voice in your head says stuff like,
"This post took me 20 hours, so it's obviously good. I did everything right. I played by the rules, so Google should reward me. I follow this tutorial to a T. It's this insanely handsome teacher's fault."
But effort doesn't equal quality. In SEO, quality comes down to one thing: user satisfaction. How well your page meets the real needs and expectations of the person doing the search. And I don't think there's anyone better at measuring this than Google. For example, if 100 people land on your page and 98 of them hit back and click another result, your page clearly isn't satisfying users because they're looking for information elsewhere. So spend less time obsessing over word count and more time understanding who's searching, what do they really want to know, what do they not want to know. Then create content, tools, and solutions that give them the answer faster and better than anyone else in the top 5 results. I've done this over and over to prove it works. I've ranked number 1 in a day, in an hour using just ChatGPT, and when a creator got hit by a brutal algorithm update, audience research is where we spent the bulk of our time. It's all documented on our channel. Know your audience might sound like fluffy advice, but it's actually the moat, especially now when AI can pump out 1 million lifeless posts with a single click. Bottom line, your audience doesn't care how well written your content is or how much time you spent on it. They care if it solves their problem. That is serving search intent, period. But even if you nail this, even if your content is actually great, it can still fail because in SEO, great content dies in silence all the time. Content doesn't rank itself. It needs to be promoted, especially by people who can and will link to you. And this is even more critical for smaller sites because you probably don't have many backlinks to any of your pages. So before you decide to target a keyword, ask yourself, who can I share this with? Who's going to link to it? And how am I going to rank this in Google step by step? If you don't have those answers, don't create it yet. Because in SEO, if you build it, they will come. It's the biggest lie you can fall for. SEO isn't dead. What's broken is our expectations. For years, we were playing SEO on easy mode, ranking with minimal effort and calling it strategy. That era is over. It's not because SEO stopped working, but because user behavior has changed. People want fast answers from AI. They want to hear real stories from real people on Reddit and YouTube. They're skeptical, distracted, and way harder to impress than ever. But zoom out for a second. Step outside the SEO or content creator mindset, and you'll realize that you're no different because you're a Google search user too. You want content that respects your time, and so do your visitors. You want to learn from people who've actually been there and done that. Guess who else wants that? You want answers that actually solve your problem rather than meaningless FAQs that are trying to target every keyword under the main topic. Come on, nobody wants that. So when you're creating content, ask yourself, do I want to read this? Would I trust this? Would I share this? Because that is the mindset that you need to adopt. Now, despite all the seemingly massive changes, the good news is that the fundamentals of SEO haven't changed. And if you want to actually learn how to use SEO to earn free organic traffic, watch our free SEO course for beginners right here on YouTube.